Awesome. All right. So yeah, just an informal conversation, I guess. So yeah, tell me who you are and what you guys have done.
My name is Ray Fikes. I'm a certified orthotist and prosthetist in Arizona with offices in Mesa, Arizona and Prescott, Arizona. And Prescott is where we set up our 3D O+P school. And it's accredited by ABC. They've given us 38 and a half credits. The BOC has given us 44 credits. You come and spend 5 days with us, and we help you break down that black box, which is 3D printing and slicing. I've been at this 44 years, so I tell people I'm a high-tech dinosaur. I cut my teeth on wooden legs, and now we're teaching scanning and 3D printing.
Nice. And so this is with 3D O and P, right?
That's correct.
Nice. And so that's not the name of your actual your practice though, right? This is a separate entity that does the training and the education.
Right. My practice is called Fikes Brace and Limb and Fikes Orthopedic Specialties in
Nice.
Mesa and Prescott, respectively.
Nice. And so the training that you mentioned, you're going through obviously design and you're going through G code and you're going through printing. Or can you tell me a bit more about what the program has offered in the past and how often it runs too? Because it's only a few times a year, correct?
Yes, we like to have 4 classes a year, but between weather and like last year, we scheduled something the week before Thanksgiving, and that didn't work. Trying to find those magic times when people can come. And of course, in Arizona, when it's 115, nobody wants to come. So uh, uh, we can. I mean, for a large enough group, for 10 or more, we can set up a private course. But right now, it's looking like we're going to probably practically be able to pull off about three classes a year.
Fantastic. And tell me more about the offering in some of the stuff that you're excited to share. I know that
Okay.
for me, one of my favorite parts about what you guys are doing is the depth of your exploration into custom G code and doing custom sort of CNC or even G code edits for geometry and for different machines. Like, yeah, can you speak more about that?
Okay. Yes. We touch on it. Getting people into 3D printing is like drinking out of a fire hose. Uh, we introduce them to 3D printing and show them the first half day is just an introduction and show uh, the range of 3D printing from multi-jet printing to powder printing to printing with stainless steel, titanium, just videos, and um, then we then we get into just the nuts and bolts of G code. Don't have time to get real deep into G code, um, but the mechanics of a 3D printer, and then all that in the first day. The second day, we pretty much spend on design with Meshmixer. Uh, and in this last class, we had some advanced students that wanted that we spent 2 days on Meshmixer because you have to be able to design it first.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep,
can't
that's
design
right.
it, your your digital journey's over. But once you design it, uh, way too many people in our field are reliant on behind the scenes slicing.
Yeah.
They don't have any options, and when you don't have many options, or completely open ended on your options, then it retrogrades. It changes the way you design, and we saw that with our last group. They were great designers, but they were very inhibited with their slicing techniques. So it opened their design doors by showing them the depth of slicing.
Yeah.
And
That's a crazy thing to acknowledge because for me, the biggest barrier, it's like to repeat what you said, it's like if you can't leverage design, you're done. If it doesn't matter how good your scanner or 3D printer is. But then after tackling that hurdle, you're saying that the next inhibition to becoming a master at this field is knowing how to slice. And you've
yeah,
also overcome that challenge too by, first conquering Meshmixer and then using slicing. So what kind of slicers are you, what's your favorite?
well, hands down is Simplify.
Nice.
Simplify because of its multi-process capabilities. We pull off some extremely complicated um, slices, and that has to be done multi-process. You can have one model on your screen, and you could have 10 different processes on it. The first process, from 0 to 5 millimeters, you're doing a conventional print. And then from that 5 millimeters up to 50 millimeters, you're doing merge print or vase mode printing. And it allows us to actually slice material onto your model that doesn't exist. So it takes your design. Some of our design is in the mesh manipulation software, Meshmixer.
Wow. And like I'm gonna be the first to admit that I myself haven't overcome this hurdle. My next challenge in mastering this O+P space is to get into slicing. So I'm definitely going to be taking your course, and I'm hoping you're gonna offer that in the future as a course. I'm sure you are developing that. I came across you, and your work was just blown away by some of the depth and the modifications that you were doing. How can you, the Meshmixer program you put together, if someone who hasn't seen it for the first time or doesn't know what it's about, tell them more about what you've done in that series, because there's I think 10 videos, and like the different devices you do and your techniques, because to me there's a lot of clinical value in that one, in a sense that my courses don't offer that. I stick to very specifically CAD centric skills, but you've also included in this series a very good clinical component.
Yeah, I think that's what really helps us shine with our curriculum, is that every bit of it is remedies that I need daily from my clinic.
Mm-hmm.
So I from a scan that I have of a limb, I go to Meshmixer, and over the past 7 or 8 years, have come up with these routines, and to where I've been printing lower extremity prosthetics for almost 7 years now, which we focus on diagnostics. Everybody wants their 3D printer to print a definitive socket, but that's being drunk on the technology. I mean, we use scanning and 3D printing to establish size, shape, and alignment. And then from that point, we finish our prosthesis conventionally, because braided carbon and epoxy with stunning graphics, something that's I don't know if 3D printing will ever get there, but the sweet spot is definitely in diagnostics.
You've decided to share this program training with O+P Digital Designer, and we're going to be co-hosting content together on the Academy. You also are running an Academy of content on your side as well. How do you see this partnership, helping your customer base with, digital design literacy?
Well, your core business is education, and we were attracted to you from your talents, and with Fusion is just outstanding. I mean, stunning, really. And but my core is not. We do have a 3D printing school, but I'm still in private practice, and I'm just sharing. I'm sharing my curriculum that's been designed out of my practice. So that's where I see our partnership really being a hand in a glove.
Mm-hmm.
Can I share my backdrop with you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you guys have been at shows a few times showing off some of these models. I've seen some of these.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this is a partial foot. We print the foot orthotic out of PVA, the same PVA that you use in bags for lamination, and then we just vacuum form the plexiglass or Duraplex around it, and then dissolve it out with water. We 3D print the partial foot shell, and then you don't have to inject the silicone. It's just a pan that it's poured into, and you can see the finished product there on the right. And I'll zoom in a little bit. The silicone is glass smooth. We print silicone molds for our silicone. We do all of our own custom silicone liners, and we 3D print our molds. And this one is a very, very elaborate 3-piece, 2-part mold that allows us to do multi-shore silicone. This is one of the molds that that is used with that red and white one that you just saw. This is a shower prosthesis. Once we have a fit on an amputee, we have a pre-made stomper foot that we design into it, and then in this particular case, we used polypropylene around it, and it cost me about $20, and the patient gets this clear print on the right is there are a number of people out there that are printing their trim lines. Doing it clear is another trick, and I'll show you how clear.
Wow. Yeah.
The clarity, see, you can see the blanching of the skin, so you're able to fit someone from a vascular perspective, which I want. We do diagnostic knee braces, foot orthotics, and it's something that doesn't even have to go through the lab. I scan, modify it, print it, and then it takes that workload off of my lab, and it's light and fast. But the top of this mold is what we call banding. That's not modeled in. We do that with the slicer, and this is a pretty complicated mold. There's 20 solid layers on the bottom. It's 3 thicknesses thick here. It's 4 thicknesses at this just above the lock, and then it transitions into 1 thickness. So we've had 300-pounders walk on this in dynamic alignment in the lab with no problem.
But a lot of the implementations of these was done using Meshmixer.
Yeah, and the point with this detour is just to say, listen, you do everything with it. I guess the most transformative thing has been foot orthotics. We print foot orthotics. We scan them. It's a 2-hour print, and we can deliver same day. They cost me right at $8 to $9. No labor. So and 100% success rate with them comfort wise. So.
Well, I'm really excited to bring your knowledge to the Academy and to cross promote this form of education. I think your abilities impressed me, even though I come from a more mature design standing. It's the what you've been able to do with Meshmixer is still really impressive considering.
Thank you.
Yeah, so everyone has been asking for Meshmixer. It's one of the more requested. It's the most requested on a recent survey I posted online too. So yeah, really excited to have you on board, and I'm sure we're going to be doing some great things. And I'm definitely taking your course too. If no one else will, I'm going to be signing up for the next one because I need to take some advanced slicing skills from you. Well, thank you so much, Ray. Any last minute words on the offering and what we're doing? Otherwise, I'm sure it's been a really informative session on your skills and your knowledge that you're bringing to this course that we were releasing.
I've got a lot more to say, days worth. So come to our course. Anybody that sees this, and we have a saying. However you come to us, our job is to elevate your 3D printing skills. If you don't know how, we'll get you introduced. If you're 3D printing, we haven't had one person yet that's left after taking our course that hasn't admitted that we've elevated their 3D printing skills, and especially their design skills.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to share that. Thanks so much, Ray, for joining us. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you as this progresses.